Hello everybody and welcome back. Tonight we go over to Yorkshire and a place called the Diamonds where two boys see two very strange creatures. This account came into me through email and I'd like to thank the gentleman for allowing me to share it with you all, and I hope he's listening. Hi Debbie, you don't know me, but something happened to myself and a friend in May of 1986 and I wondered if you could help me to work out what we saw that night. To tell you the truth, I still can't explain what they were. I was out with my friend when it happened, and we were wagging school to go bird nesting. I remember it was a Friday, and the weather was lovely and warm. By the time things happened, we'd been out all day up to no good as kids do, and we were bored, and looking for something to occupy us. We decided to go over to a wooded area called the Diamonds. Well, that's what we called it. It's a place near Burntwood Nursing Home, and there's a large wooded area called Howell Woods, but the precise area was over the road, down towards a pit village called Grimethorpe. Now the Howell Beck runs through the place, and the incident took place in a copse of woodland towards the B6 273 road. Now the old guys we knew used to tell us to keep away from the Diamonds because it was haunted, or to stay clear as the gamekeeper would have us with his rice gun. Anyway, that day we made our way over there regardless and mooching around looking for nests. We'd been watching a sparrowhawk flying to and from this one particular tree, so I decided to climb up it. The nest must have been 30 foot up in a crevice in the bough, so I climbed up there easily, but the nest was empty. I just started to climb back down when my mate shouts, "There's somebody coming through the brambles." So I stopped, looked and listened, and whoever was coming our way, they were not being quiet about it, or trying to stay hidden. They were making a right old noise, smashing through the dense foliage, and you could hear the twigs and the branches snapping and a strange grunting. So half scrambling and half falling, I made my way halfway down the tree. But the noises were not stopping, they were getting louder and louder. So I jumped the last 12 foot into the brambles. Not a good idea, but I was at this point crapping myself. I clambered out of the thorns and scrub, and I set off running as fast as I could. And by this time, and at the other side of the hedgerow, I could see the top of this strange head that was flanking us as we ran. They stayed hidden behind the bush, but they were keeping us in vision as they moved along with us. We were a little in front of it, and I knew that it would catch up with us at a break in the bushes up ahead. So we got our heads down and we ran as fast as we could to try and get up to and past the break before it did. It didn't work, and whatever was behind there beat us to it. We stopped dead in our tracks, and at that moment we realised there was no getting away as this thing just came into view. Honestly, I said shit, it was that big. Even an adult would consider this thing huge, and we were only lads of just 13 and 12 years old at the time. It looked like a bulky mass of matted hair. The hair wasn't really long, but it was all tangled and full of twigs and dead leaves, and I remember clearly what it looked like, and it didn't have a neck, just a head on big shoulders, and its face looked all gnarly and leathery, like its skin was all weathered somehow. We turned in the opposite direction and set off running up the middle of a cornfield like our lives depended on it. By now we were crying and gasping for breath, and when we looked over to the tree line about 100 yards away, there it was again, still flanking us, but as we turned to look back, we realised that the first one we had initially seen was still at the break in the hedgerow, so there must have been at least two of them out there. We looked again and saw the second one stop, and by now we were about a third of a mile away from the top of our field, and we carried on sprinting till we reached the very top. As we got to the top of the field, we stopped to take a breather, and I vomited as I was that scared and from running so hard. My friend was still sobbing. We looked back and all around, but we couldn't see it any longer. Then there was a shrill, sharp scream that was loud, really loud. By this point, we'd both had enough, and we didn't hang about. We were off out of there like startled rabbits. To this day, I couldn't tell you what it or they were, because I've no idea. We often spoke about it to my friend. My friend went his own path in life and died sadly at 19 from an overdose. And I still wonder if this had an effect on him. He was a good kid, but he got in with the wrong crowd. I've only ever spoken to my wife about this. But what do you think they were? For years we said they were demons, but I'm just not sure what or who they were. I've been back there on numerous occasions, but up to now I've never seen or heard anything else. I do a lot of fishing and hunting, so I'm outdoors quite often. But I can honestly say what we saw that day has changed my whole mindset on the outdoors. I'm always looking over my shoulder and listening for any unusual sounds. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I hope to get another look, just to make sure I'm not crazy. And I did see it that day. Now I completely understand where this gentleman is coming from. His descriptions of being outdoors as a kid and seeing something impossible will be recognised by many of the witnesses, myself included. In fact, I wrote about exactly this feeling in the book that we've just had published, and how it feels to be a child witness and not have anywhere or anyone to go to. But that's still the same for adults. You have to go somewhere or discuss it in the hopes of finding out what you saw, or having the experience at least explained away. Now, many of the kids were in places they should not have been, or were skipping school. Some were just playing in the fields and woods, as all kids do. Now, in America or other parts of the world, before the World Wide Web, the kids here in England, or anyone really in the British Isles, would not have been able to connect a weird, dark, hairy it with a cryptid creature of any kind, and would have been lost for a comparison, or lost for a reason to explain what this thing was. And sadly, I still have to say the same things to those people now. We just don't know, is the most honest answer I can give. Along with, but you're not on your own, and more people are coming forward who have seen something similar. I also tell them that one day it will be just as easy to report a strange experience featuring a weird or impossible creature as it is to report a UFO, or an abduction, or a ghost. The witnesses to those events have a platform to share their experiences, and an audience who will hear their account. And that's what I'm hoping for the witnesses to things outside of the expected range. So until next time, good night.